sweet friends. Today we are going to be making this bag. So it's just a cute little shoulder bag. So what it's made up of is we have 5 full squares, and then we have 4 half squares. But this is a very quick, easy bag. You can make this within a day or two, just depending on how much time you'd like to spend on it. But it is very quick and easy, very beginner friendly. So let's get started. And what you're going to need for this purse is the Red Heart Granny Square skein. You can use any yarn that you'd like, but this is what I used. So this is a medium 4-weight yarn, and I am going to be using a 4.5 millimeter hook. The skein calls for a 5.5, but I'm using a size smaller just to make the squares nice and tight so that it is better for a bag so things won't fall out of it. But you can really make this with whatever yarn and hook size that you'd like, especially if you're going to be adding a liner or anything like that. So feel free to use whatever you would like, but this is what I used for this bag. And obviously the uh, all-in-one granny square skein, they say to use a certain pattern to get the color change so it changes each row. With this bag, I am ignoring that and I'm just using it as it changes. So you're going to get each square is going to be a little bit different and have a little bit of each color for the most part. So that is what I used for this bag, just to give it a really cute, fun look that you really did not know what it was gonna turn out looking like. So I was really excited that it turned out the way that it did. And let's get started on how to build that purse. So I'm going to start with a magic ring, which is holding your yarn tail in your fingers like this, and you're going to wrap your yarn around twice. And on the second pass, you are going to cross it over those 2 loops on your fingers already. Then I just hold the tail with my other 2 fingers. Then I'm going to go under both of those first loops and grab that yarn that is crossed over and pull it through. And I do a little twist and then go back and grab the yarn that I'm hanging on to and just make a chain like that. There's multiple ways of making this, but that's how I do mine. All right, so you've got your magic ring started there, and you're going to chain 4. So you have 1 chain there already. I'm going to chain 3 more. This is going to count as your first double crochet and chain 1 space. And we are going to be making a total of 12 double crochets and 12 chain spaces. So this counts as the first double and first chain 1 space. So I'm going to do 11 more. So double crochet. If you need any help with your beginner stitches, go ahead and check out my playlist. I have all the beginner stitches tutorials over there for you if you need that. All right, so chain 1 and double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, and you're going to do that until you have 12 double crochets and 12 chain 1 spaces. All right, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And then I'm going to tighten up this magic ring by pulling on the tail and seeing which of these loops moves. All right, so that one, and I'm going to take that and pull it so the other one closes, and then pull my tail and close that other loop. And now I'm going to slip stitch into that space there, the in between, it's actually our chain 4 space here. I'm going to slip stitch right in the middle of that. All right, now I'm going to chain 3, and this counts as our first double crochet, and I'm going to do a second double crochet into that same space. And chain 1, and working only in the chain 1 spaces, we are going to be doing 2 double crochets into each of those chain 1 spaces with a chain 1 in between. So I have my 2 double crochets, chain 1, I'm going to do 2 double crochets into this next chain 1 space, chain 1, 2 double crochets into the next chain 1 space, and you do that all the way around. 2 double crochets, chain 1. Once you've made it all the way around, you're going to slip stitch into the top of that chain 3 spot that we did. That counts as our first double crochet. So I'm going to slip stitch into that stitch right there. And then I need to get over to this next chain 1 space, so I'm going to slip stitch into the next stitch and into that chain 1 space just to get over to that spot. Okay? So now I'm in that chain 1 space, and I'm going to chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that is going to count as the first double crochet and chain 2 corner space. And then we are going to work the second side of our corner in the same space. And we are going to put 2 double crochets into that same corner. And then I'm going to do 3 half double crochets into this next space. And the same into this next chain 1 space. All right, so we've got our corner, and we've got 3 half double crochets in this space, 3 half double crochets in this space, and we're going to do another corner in this space. So that is going to be 2 double crochets for the first side, chain 2, and 2 double crochets in the same space. So now we have our first corner, first side, second corner. We're going to do our second side with 3 double crochets, sorry, 3 half double crochets in the first chain 1 space, 3 half double crochets in the next chain 1 space. And that is going to be our second side. And we're here at our next corner. So 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets in the same space. And our next side, 3 half double crochets in the next chain 1 space, 3 half double crochets in the next chain 1 space, 3 half double crochets in the next chain 1 space, 3 half double crochets in the next chain 1 space, 3 half double crochets in the next chain 1 space, 3 half double crochets in the next chain 1 space, 3 half double crochets in the next chain 1 space, 3 half double crochets in the next chain 1 space, 3 half double crochets in the next chain 1 space, 3 half double crochets in the next chain 1 space, 3 half double crochets in the next chain 1 space, 3 half double crochets in the next chain 1 space, 3 half double crochets in the next chain 1 space, 3 half double crochets in the next chain 1 space, 3 half double crochets in the next chain 1 space, 3 half double crochets in the next chain 1 space, 3 half double crochets in the next chain 1 space, 3 half double crochets in the next chain 1 space, 3 half double crochets in Okay, we're at our next corner. So that is 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets in the same space. All right, and our last side, 3 half double crochets, 3 half double crochets. And we're going to finish our last corner with 1 double crochet in that chain 1 space, or that corner chain space. And then we are going to slip stitch right into that chain space. Slip stitch right in the middle there. All right, and that completes our 3rd row. And now we're going to do our 4th and final row, and that is going to be chain 5 again. And that counts as a double crochet in our chain 2 space. And we're going to put 3 double crochets into this corner for the other side. All right, and then we are going to do 3 double crochets into each of the spaces in between those clusters. So that space right there is going to get 3 double crochets. This is like a typical granny square. This is how you would work a granny square on this next row is what a typical granny square is like. All right. So we did our 3 there. We're going to do 3 more in this space. And 3 more into this space. Right, and we're at our corner, so it's going to be 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets in the same space. So 3 doubles, chain 2, 3 doubles. Right, and same for this side. 3 double crochets into that next space. 3 doubles in the next space. And that's the space between the 3 half doubles that you did from the previous row. And 3 more in this next one. Okay, now we're at our corner, and that is just the 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. And again, the same thing along this side, just 3 double crochets in between the 3 half double crochets. And the same thing with the corner, 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. And we're just going to work up to the last corner, and I'll show you how to connect or how to finish that first corner. All right, so before I finish this one off, you should have your corner, and you should have three clusters of 3 double crochets together, and then your next corner. And that's how each side should be. So corner, 1, 2, 3, corner, 1, 2, 3, corner, 1, 2, 3, corner, and that's how each side should be. How to finish this first corner, we have that chain 5 that's going to count as the 1 double crochet in your chain 2 space. So we need 2 more double crochets in that space to finish our corner. So we're just going to add those. You are working over that chain just a tiny bit, or at least where that slip stitch is that the chain is coming from. And then you're going to, once you finish those 2 double crochets, you're just going to chain, or you're going to slip stitch into that chain. All right, chain 1, and then you would just cut your yarn, pull that through, and tighten it up. And then you can sew in your ends. And that is your corner, or I'm sorry, and that is your square. You're going to need 5 of these in total for this bag. And now for the half square, we're going to start the same way with our magic ring. So we are holding the yarn in our fingers like this, wrapping around twice, crossing over, and then going under the first 2, grabbing that one that crossed over, pulling it through, do a little turn, and I just grab that next yarn to make, or grab that yarn from my fingers and make 1 chain. All right, and we are doing the same thing with starting with 4 chains. So I've got 1 there, and I'm going to do 3 more. So I have 4 chains. Now we are going to have a total of 7 double crochets and 6 chain 1 spaces. So I have 1 double, or this chain 4 counts as 1 double and 1 chain. So I need 6 more doubles. 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, now I'm going to tighten up that magic ring by pulling the tail, seeing the loop that moved, and I'm going to grab that one and tighten the other loop. And then take that tail and pull the loop closed. And that is your magic ring. Now we're going to chain 4. That's going to count as 1 double crochet and 1 chain. And we are going to work 2 double crochets into this chain 1 space. The same as our second row for the full square. So 2 double crochets into that chain 1 space. I'm going to chain 1, 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, chain 1, all the way across. And the difference with this one is that we are turning our work every time instead of working in the same direction of the round, like the right side facing, like the square, we have the right side facing the same way each time. And with the half square, we are flipping each row. I'll show you the end of this row. I don't think I explained it the first row that we did. All right, so this is our last chain 1 space. We're going to do 2 double crochets here. All right, I'm going to chain 1 and do 1 double crochet in the top of that chain right there. All right, so that is our second row. So you see we have our 2 double crochets into each chain 1 space. And then on each end, we have a double crochet by itself. And for this next row, we are going to do the same thing and chain 4 and turn. So we're going to be working back the opposite direction. And in that chain 1 space, we are going to be doing 2 double crochets. In the next space, 3 half double crochets. The next space is 3 half double crochets. The next space is going to be a corner, so that's going to be 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. It's got my 2 doubles, chain 2, 2 double crochets in the same space. Now we're going to work our 3 half double crochets into this next space. And do the same in this next space here, 3 half doubles. And our next space is going to be 2 double crochets. Chain 1 and 1 double crochet in the top of that chain right there. That is finishing off the third row that we have. Now I'm going to finish with the last row. So we are going to chain 3, turn our work, and we're going to put 2 double crochets into that chain, or into, yes, that chain 1 space. So 2 double crochets. And then I'm going to do 3 double crochets into that next space between those clusters. Same thing in the next space, 3 double crochets. And same in the next space, 3 double crochets. And the next space is a corner, so we're going to work 3 doubles, chain 2, 3 doubles. Okay, and finishing off our side, we're just doing the same thing in 3 double crochets into each of those spaces across. Okay, and we're at our corner, so I'm going to do 2 double crochets into that chain space. And 1 more double crochet in the top of that chain. And that is it for your half of a square. So you're just going to cut your yarn, weave in your ends. I'm sorry, I'm going to chain 1 there just to tie off my tail there. All right, so we have our half square and our whole square. You're going to make 5 squares and 4 half squares. And I'm going to show you a picture of how the purse is laid out flat. And you can join these with any join that you would like to use. I used a flat zipper join. I do have a tutorial linked up here and in the description if you would like to visit that on several different ways that you can join squares together. So you can use whatever method you would like. And so you are just going to attach them in the layout that I'm going to give you a picture of. And that is the flat, the look of what it looks like flat. And then you're going to fold it over. And I'm going to mark on the sides over here on this picture which sides get connected. And really what you're doing is just seaming up this and this on both sides. So it would be this side on this one, and then flipping it over this side, this side. So then it would all be attached. Then once your bag is all put together, you've got the base of your bag, you are going to do single crochets across the top opening of your bag. For the half double crochets that you're going to be working into, I just put a single crochet evenly across to do 13 single crochets, and that was for the whole, so it was 13 across each top. I ended up having 52 stitches all the way around. If you would like to have this bag have a wider opening on top, you can do more stitches per half square. So when you're working across, since there's not really stitch definition here for you to work into, you just do whatever stitch you choose to do across, and you just disperse those evenly across. So I did 13, so it would have been, I used the center as a mark. Do 6 on this side, 1 in the center, 6 on this side, and that would make it that the stitches were all evenly set apart. But if you would like this bag wider on top, then you could do something like 15 stitches across, which would be 7 stitches, 1 stitch, 7 stitches, or you can do even more. It really depends on whatever you want for this bag. It is customizable. and you can work that out however you would like. And then I just did 5 rows of single crochet to make that width. Again, you can make that more narrow or taller, whatever you prefer for this bag. But for this one, I did 52 stitches all the way across, which made it 13 stitches per square, and then 5 rows. And then for my strap here, I will show you how I started this one, but this one is all single crochets, and I just sewed the sides. Show you. I sewed it on the inside of the bag. So I just stitched it on the inside. So you just leave a tail from your bag when you're done working with it, and you just sew that on the inside of your bag on each side there, like that. And I just centered it on the side square. I just centered it with the middle part of that square. I did that on both sides. So that is how you attach your strap. And I'm going to show you how to make the strap in just a moment, but that is the structure of your bag and how you assemble it. So for your strap, for this strap, I did 91 chains. So I'm going to leave a tail long enough for sewing onto the bag, and I'm just going to do a slip knot. So wrapping my yarn around like this, pulling it through. All right, so I've got my long tail for sewing, and I'm going to chain 91 for this bag. And you want this somewhat tight because this is going to be the strap. And if you're using acrylic yarn like I am, it will stretch a little bit. So I would just use a little bit of, or try and keep these chains somewhat tight. Not too tight that you can't work into them, but tight enough knowing that your bag is going to be weighing on this with the strap. All right, so once you have your chains, you're going to chain one more for the turning chain. And you can make this strap however long or short you would like. It's totally what works for you. So then you're going to turn your chain around, and you see these little bumps on the back here of the chain. You've got your side that has the V's, and then you've got the side with the little bumps on the back. I am going to work in the bumps on the back because when you do that, it gives a nice crisp edge on both sides. So it looks very finished. So that's why I like to work in the back bump. If you don't want to do that, you can work into the chain just like normal. It will not make a big difference. So you can see that first bump there. I'm going to skip that one and I'm going to work into the second one. Just put my hook through that little bump and pull up a loop and just do a regular single crochet. And you're going to do that all the way across. Once you have gotten to the end of your strap, and mine is short because I'm just giving you an example of how to do this. I wasn't going to do the whole strap again. But so this is the end of the strap. So you have your last single into that last chain. You're going to chain one and turn your work. And you're going to single crochet into that first stitch. And you're going to do that all the way across your strap. And I'm going in both loops, just so you know. And again, I'm trying to keep this pretty snug, but not too tight that working into it on the way back is going to be difficult. So once you are at the end of that next row, you're going to do the same thing, just chain 1 and turn and start the same way, single crochet in that first stitch and go all the way across. So you are going to do a total of 5 single crochet rows, and I will meet back with you when you have completed your 5 single crochets or 5 single crochet rows. So I am starting my 3rd row of single crochets, and I'm going to do 2 more after this one. I have finished my last and 5th row of single crochets. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm just going to chain 1, turn my work, and I'm going to do a tight row of slip stitches across. And this one you can make tight because you are not working into it. This is your last row. So this will also give you some extra durability on the edges so it doesn't stretch as much. So just slip stitch into each of those single crochets. And at the end of that row, I'm just going to chain 1, and I'm going to cut a long tail so that I can use that tail to sew the strap onto my bag. Pull that tight. And then you've got a tail on either end, so you can sew that onto your bag like that. So I placed my strap on the inside of the bag and then sewed it from the inside as well, so that I went through the strap and then only picked up a little bit of I picked up the back of the stitches so that you can't see them from the front. Going through the stitches, I would just pick up like something like that, because then you can't see that from the front. So I would just go through that and then go right through the strap so that then it would be very secure. And then you are all done with your bag. You can weave in your ends if you have not done that already. Thank you so much for joining me today on this very cute, fun, and quick crocheted purse. I hope you have a wonderful day.